Who can tell me the meaning of Kāfirūn?
The disbelievers.
Hmm?
The disbelievers.
What is the difference between those idolatry and disbelievers? Are the same thing?
Kind of.
What's the difference? কে বলতে পারবে?
So, idol worshippers believes in like praise to the idols, right? And disbelievers are like they don't believe on anything, or like they believe on something else.
See now, look at this tricky surah now. Surah gets a little tricky. Anyway, listen very carefully. The surah, and all of you address like those polytheistic names, they had 360 idols, they do idols. There is a difference between polytheist. What's the Arabic of polytheist? Polytheist Arabic কি হবে? Anybody? Now think. কে বলো কি? Exactly. Shirk. যারা shirk করে, doer of shirk is mushrik. So the mushrikun, so they should have been addressed. Ya ayyuhal mushrikun. If the intention was those Quraysh who are doing idolatry, and I don't like idolatry, and Allah would have said, Ya ayyuhal mushrikun. That's what the story was about. We had those stories that they had Kaaba, they had a lot of 360 idols, and they should do have a lot of gods, and they proposed to have, sharing one god with multiple gods, this kind of proposal. But now it looks like when it's addressed, it is addressed as what is that? Addressed as Kāfirūn. There is another distinction here. Kāfirūn is somebody, like there is two way of addressing Kafir in the Quran. One is, Ya ayyuhallazina kafaru. Those who disbelieve, those who disbelieve. If Allah addressed, oh ya ayyuhallazina kafaru, those who disbelieve, then if you look at me and say, I didn't disbelieve, don't look at me. But I say, oh Kāfirūn, oh ya ayyuhallazina kafirun, then I don't know whom am I addressing. If I address you, no, I'm not doing anything. So maybe it's not some other guy, not me. Those who do kufr, I'm addressing them. Then I may not be there, so you can find it's not me. But when I say, oh kafir, then it is done deal. You're really kafir. There's no ambiguity, or there's nothing called you sometimes did, sometimes you didn't. Yeah, sometimes I do adultery, sometimes I don't. But those guys always do. There is no doubt. They always did. They're doing now. They will do in later. They will not change their mind. That's why they are addressed as kafir, not ya ayyuhalladhina kafaru. Ya ayyuhalladhina amanu, those who believe. We believe her, but sometimes we can disbelieve. We forget. So that's why he said ya ayyuhalladhina amanu. But when you say ya al-mu'minun, then becomes these are solid people. Believer, there is no doubt of. They believe in the past, believe now, they will believe later. But some will be fluctuating. Believe now, believe later, don't believe later on, forget. So Allah is addressing so, and look at that. If I say that to, let's say Prophet ﷺ is in Makkah and says, oh kafir, what would happen? Is that kind of tougher and rude language? And if you say to me like the oh kafir, then say, well, you're not staying here with me anymore. Once you say those who disbelieve, I didn't really address you. If you don't disbelieve, that's you. Oh kafir, you. Then you'll get angry. Say, what do you say me? I'm kafir. That's it. No more dealing with you. You're good. You have to leave. So once Prophet Allah Ta'ala, the Prophet said this kind of thing, it would mean end of the story. You cannot stay here anymore. Makkah will not be a place for him anymore. So that looks like that's the seed of his departure is just started. Because he can't stay here anymore. Once you say that kind of statement, you're doomed. So that means it's a sign that Prophet ﷺ will be departing soon from this Makkah and he's making a line. Even though you're my parent, you're my uncle, you're my nephew, you're my neighbor, but here's the line. You're kafir, I'm not. You call me this, so there will be division and said, then if you are divided like this, you leave. I want you to stay here. This is our place. You have a different religion, go home. Go somewhere else. So that's the thing. But again, Allah Ta'ala has put qul before that. When Allah Ta'ala puts qul before that, that means person who didn't say by himself. Person will never be rude to say, hey kafir. He will never say like that. But Allah is saying, say to them, oh kafir. So that you can say, hey, it's not my call. See, there is a qul before that. There is a qul before that. Say, oh kafir. So it's not my invention. So they cannot blame Prophet as being very rude suddenly. Because he was the nicest man. Suddenly he cannot add bad languages. Oh kafir. Oh hypocrite or something like that. But what he did now, Allah Ta'ala has put a qul in before that to say it is not me, my word, but it's the word of Allah and He's making me to say you then. It's not my saying. So don't say I'm rude. You are like this and Allah Ta'ala said to address you like that. That's why I addressed. So now you see the importance of qul. Say, don't be afraid. Here is the line and it will be divided now. Things will start dividing. We will be the same. We are not the same people. So now, if I know this, now the problem will start to happen now. So kafir can be whom? Disbeliever can be who? Who are the disbelievers can be? So disbelievers can be those polytheists, or it could be anybody. The Christians can be disbelievers. Do you believe in one Allah? No, I don't. You're disbelieving. Do you believe in this prophet? I don't. You're disbelieving. Do you believe in the Quran? I don't. You're disbelieving. Do you believe in no God? I believe in no God. You're disbelieving. Atheist comes into the scene, even the modern day phenomenon of atheism. But that gets into the realm of kafir because you are disbelieving. So now, it looks like the surah is addressing not only the Qurayshi polytheists, but it's addressing everyone. And it will be addressed from generation to come, day of judgment. People of that kind will be there. So now look at the appeal, and it is so strong that it will cause a demarcation between the two groups. Because of making that doesn't mean we'll be calling oh kafir. No, that doesn't mean we will be doing like that. But it's a statement in a situation that we cannot stay together. These cannot be compromised. So look at that. And now look at that. Another interesting fact you will see. The Quraysh was kind of good, I will say, in one point of view. Do you know why good? What's the positive thing in Quraysh's thing? Anything you can say? Anything good about the Quraysh?
They're trying to compromise.
They're trying to compromise. They're not arrogant piece of people. They say, okay, I know we do idolatry, but I'll worship your God. I'm not saying I'll never worship, I will never agree with this. Never, ever. Okay, I'll do. My goodness, they're the great people, compromiser, mid-level people, Madhyapanthi log. Think about that. In one sense, they looks like the Madhyapanthi compromiser. They're not saying my way or highway, because we have the power, everybody should do what we do. They say, okay, let's share. My goodness, this would have been a great thing. Now flip the coin. If we say to non-Muslims, say, let's share. Then you put into the Al-Kāfirūn, you become one of the adversaries. Why share? Because let's make a Quran, let's make a book. There's an attempt to make a book. They make, say, part of the Quran, part of Torah, part of Bible, and make all good things, common things into one book, and said, let's make another Quran like this. We'll recite this. Part of the Quran, part of Bible, part of Torah, combine them together and make a book. That doesn't contradict each other. Something that is separate. And let's decide that all of us. So we have become friends. Let's compromise. If we, as a Muslim, propose that kind of idea, you get into those terrible Quraysh, same trap. That's what they did. They didn't say my way or highway. They want to compromise. Let's do some compromise now. Now you're in the same trap. See, it's so tricky. So this surah will be, when the Muslims try to be so liberal and start compromising the values. You know, the Christian church, do you know what the Catholic Church has recently done? Who knows? From the backside. Any news from the Catholic Church?
They are trying to improve the LGBT.
Exactly. Catholic Church came to the Pope has said, after centuries of in the right path, now they're saying Pope, any Catholic priest can ordain marriage between same sex. Christians, the Catholics can do it. They never did it. Now the Pope says it's okay. We approve now. Why they did that suddenly? Centuries old teachings now defeat what? Because it will cause problems. So then they're coming with an idea, compromising idea. Let's do this. Oh, I approve this. Yeah, Al-Kāfirūn. They try to compromise. It's good for them, getting more money, power. Let's do the compromise. So it's a lesson for all the Muslims that they do not compromise on the key principles of our faith. We cannot. Small things is okay. We don't worry about small things today. If I say, I don't worry about if somebody says Happy Christmas or this, that. These are the small things. But there are bigger things that we should not cause any problem. Small things, they could be small. It's good if you cannot have it, but if there are small problems, it's okay. But bigger problems that will cause a big compromise, are big, our Sharia principles, big sunnah that gets compromised, then we're in trouble. Second thing, the Quraysh always believed in Allah. It is true or false? Did Quraysh believe in Allah? Yes. If you see the Quran, it says that if you ask them, who created the heaven and the earth? They will say Allah. They will say Allah. So they had Allah and different other gods. God of money, God of education, God of this, God of that, all kind of gods. Do we have those gods? Sometimes we do, by mistake. Sometimes we think money comes from him because he employed me. He gave me the job. Without him, I would have been dead. I would have no food. I would have no food. So I worship Allah, but at the same time, I kind of pseudo-worship him because he gave me job. Or I pseudo-worship him because he is such a good doctor, he saved my life. Without him, I would have died. Who saves you? Who is the God of life and death? Allah. Who is the God of money? Allah. So why do I then start to say something like that without this doctor I would have died? Yes, he helped me, no doubt. But is he the only doer? Or there is a doer on top of him? Allah enabled him so that I can be healed. Allah enabled him. Allah enabled him so that I can get a job in his company. So I can get a job. This is what you think. We don't think he's giving me. Or the ship is in a turbulent situation and we can say the captain was so smart. He somehow get me out of that turbulent weather. He was so smart. There is no Allah here. But when you in dire situations, even though atheists will call for Allah, when the plane is in a turbulent situation, when the ship is in a turbulent situation, they don't call any other thing, any other entity. They call Allah. Help. How many surah has Qul in the beginning? Who can tell me? 4? How many surahs has beginning Qul? Who said the sixth? Give me the sixth one. Which one is the sixth one? There were five. The fifth one is Surah Jinn. قُلْ أُوحِيَ إِلَيَّ أَنَّهُ اسْتَمَعَ نَفَرٌ مِنَ الْجِنِّ فَقَالُوا إِنَّا سَمِعْنَا قُرْآنًا عَجَبًا. Surah number 72. Surah Al-Jinn. That's as a qul. But inside the sentence ayah, we have hundreds maybe. Qul inside the surah, we can have hundreds of surah that has qul on it. That means Allah Ta'ala is instructing Prophet ﷺ to say out loud. So we have to say out loud. Qul sentences that ayahs qul on it. Prophet ﷺ addressed to say, and we have to say the same thing. We have to speak out loud. Okay. One more thing is there's a disbeliever. There is another meaning, very important meaning. Is those who are ungrateful. Ungratefuls are also part of disbeliever, class of disbelievers. Ungrateful. So this feature, this characteristic is very important. If you are ungrateful, you are disbeliever. That means, let's say, he said in the beginning that Allah has given me so much thing that I'm living in dreamland. Everything dream, right? I got whatever I want. I got it. So am I grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? No. If it's not, then I am falling into trap of Kāfirūn trap. I mean, in that trap, because I'm disbelieving who has given me all those comfort. I'm disbelieving that power, that who is giving me this. Who giving me? It's my own intellect. I got it. Because I was so intelligent, so smart. I got it by my own. No, I didn't. You will see over time that many of you, some have a very high grade, some will have low grade. But doesn't mean low grade will end up with low money, low resources, and highest grade will get the highest money and everything high. There is no correlation. Because Allah has decreed that. So remember that. The last thing I like to talk about is, what is that? There's another important thing. Here, Prophet ﷺ is saying, there's a very strange thing. La a'budu ma ta'budu. What does ma'abud mean? What does ma'abud mean? Abud, what does abud mean? I worship. Ma'abud, I do not worship. Think about that. Prophet ﷺ is saying in what first person, right? Usually what do you say? Let's say some came to me and said, can you do this? We do not do what you just said. We don't do that. Usually we say in plural, right? We don't want to take all in on my burden. Prophet in this case is saying, I don't worship what you guys worship. I. He could have said, there's a similar situation happened with Ibrahim alayhi salam, where the people are attacking him, and he was saying, we don't worship what you worship. I'm leaving town. We. He didn't say I. We. Because we have few people, we leave the town. Me, my nephew Lut, and some few things will leave town. We don't worship what you worship. Same thing happened with Ibrahim alayhi salam and his people and his father and his family. And he said, we don't worship. He just denied. We don't. We. But here what he's saying, Prophet ﷺ, I. Look at that. Boldness. I don't worship. And there's two things, because it's leadership. I don't worship means, if I say we, then many of these can beat enough. Let's say if I say, we don't worship. What are we on my group? Okay, kill them all. Beat them all. Who are the we's with you? Who are your team members? All these. Beat them up. All of them. But as well, beat me if you can. I don't worship. Me. So look at it. He is taking the pressure on himself because Allah said so. And he said, if you can beat me up. But these don't beat me. Beat them. Don't beat them. I don't worship what you worship. It's me. Look at what would the people say? Leadership, that he said he's taking the responsibility on himself, on his shoulder, with the advice of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Say that, not we. And another thing is, the word ma. Ma ta'budun. There is two things in Arabic. Very interesting. That's why all of you need to know Arabic. There is called ma, what, man, what. Both of them means ma. What is between ma and man? Who can tell me? Arabic student, anybody Arabic student. What is the difference between ma ta'budun, man ta'budun? Man. Man huwa. Who are you? Yes. What's the difference between ma and man? Man huwa, ma huwa, same thing. Man huwa, who are you? Ma huwa, what are you? What does what are you mean? Difference between what are you and who are you? Is there any difference? There is. Usually in Arabic language, for any human being, we say man. When addressing human, we say man. Any entity, man. But entity is diverse. It could be living being, it could be non-living being. Anything can be, then we say ma. We say ma when the object could be living or could be usually non-living, some non-living object, non-living thing. So ma ta'budun means whatever you do with your worship, not whom you worship, no. Whom is easy. That idol you worship, that Devi you worship, no, he's not saying that. Ma ta'budun means whatever kind of worship you're doing, I'm not doing it. Whatever kind, whoever you're doing, whatever methods you're applying, you're doing tawaf, right? They do tawaf. Do you know how they do tawaf? They were kind of naked and clapping their hands and doing their tawaf. They did Safa Marwa, Sa'i, they did, but different style. We do Safa Marwa, Sa'i, we'll do tawaf, but not the way you do. So your method, your person, your aqidah, your style, I disagree. My way is different. Even the method is same, but it's different. It will be different. So I disagree with any way you do worshipping, any method, ways, substance, people, objects. I deny. I deny. So what a big statement. So that means it's not compromising the person, it's compromising the method. Whatever way you do. Can I do, let's say somebody says, even a Muslim says, I will not do worship towards Kaaba, I will do towards Baitul Maqdis. Toward that. Can I do that? I'm pre-worshipping. I will not do. That's not prescribed. Even though you're praying, but I will do other direction. I thought this is the best way to do. We'll go back to the old style. We'll go towards that. To Aqsa. We'll pray towards that direction. I'm praying to one God. But no. Your method is wrong. I deny the way you're doing and I will not compromise on that. I deny. So it looks it has a lot of power, this surah. Think carefully, it is a lot of power. So lakum dinukum waliyadin, the last thing is, that means doesn't mean that we're not doing a dawah. I will not compromise my deen with your deen. But doesn't mean I will not do dawah. People may think, oh, you go to hell, I don't care. I care. I want you to go to heaven with me. I care. It doesn't mean I don't care. I care. But if you want me to compromise, let's take half of you, half of this, half of this, half of this. One day Bible, one day church. That I cannot. I'm sorry, I cannot do that. But I can be your friend, I can be your neighbor. If you help me, I can do that. I can be anything, everything. I'll be best friend, best neighbor. But don't ask me to compromise on my faith. I cannot. So that's what we had today. Even though surah is so emotional, so important, we all need to think on that. So we'll end today's program with the kahut. So let's get ready. Kahut, let's turn it on.